Welcome to NeoNexus. Today, we're diving into the world of semiconductors and exploring why Nexperia and its chips are so crucial in our modern lives. If you're passionate about technology and want to stay ahead of the curve, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more insights, deep dives, and the latest updates from the tech universe. Semiconductors, those tiny, intricate chips, are the invisible engines powering our digital world, from the smartphone in your pocket to the car you drive. To the massive data centers that keep the internet running, semiconductors are everywhere, quietly making modern life possible. At the heart of this ecosystem is Nexperia, a Dutch company that specializes in foundational chips, transistors, diodes, and logic devices. These aren't flashy processors, but they're the essential building blocks that allow all electronics to function reliably and efficiently. These so-called workhorse chips are absolutely vital for a wide range of industries. Whether it's automotive manufacturing, consumer electronics, or industrial equipment, Nexperia's components ensure that everything runs smoothly, safely, and at scale. Nexperia's advanced factories in the Netherlands, Germany, and the UK form a backbone of Europe's high-tech manufacturing infrastructure. These facilities not only produce millions of chips each day, but also support thousands of skilled jobs and drive innovation across the continent. Any disruption to Nexperia's operations can send shockwaves through global supply chains, halting production lines and impacting everything from car assembly to consumer gadgets. That's why Nexperia is considered a strategic asset in the tech world. In recent years, growing U.S. pressure and Dutch government intervention have thrust Nexperia into the spotlight, turning it into a flashpoint in the ongoing global tech struggle. The company now sits at the intersection of technology, geopolitics, and economic security, making its future more important than ever. Nexperia's crisis was triggered by a calculated U.S. campaign, part of a broader strategy to reshape the global tech landscape. The United States, increasingly wary of China's rapid technological advances, began to leverage its influence over allies in global supply chains. Washington's goal was clear: to slow China's progress in critical sectors like semiconductors, and to ensure that cutting-edge technology remained firmly in Western hands. To curb China's tech rise, the U.S. targeted companies seen as key to Beijing's ambitions. Nexperia, a Dutch chipmaker owned by China's Wingtech, found itself in the crosshairs. The company's ties to China made it a focal point in the escalating tech rivalry. In 2024, the U.S. blacklisted Nexperia's Chinese parent, Wingtech, restricting its access to American tech. This move sent shockwaves through the industry, signaling that Washington was willing to use its economic power to isolate Chinese-linked firms. By 2025, new rules extended these restrictions to all subsidiaries, including Nexperia. The company suddenly faced a web of legal and financial barriers, making it nearly impossible to operate as before. Cut off from crucial technology and markets, Nexperia's future was thrown into doubt. Factories slowed, partnerships dissolved, and employees feared for their jobs as the company's survival hung in the balance. The U.S. went further, demanding the removal of Nexperia's CEO, Zhang Zheng, as a precondition for any easing of sanctions. This unprecedented step underscored just how far Washington was willing to go to control the fate of foreign companies tied to China. The Dutch government faced a stark choice: let Nexperia falter, risking thousands of jobs and a key part of its tech sector, or intervene directly and risk angering both China and the U.S. The stakes could not have been higher. Under immense pressure from Washington and mounting domestic concerns, the Netherlands seized control of Nexperia in October 2025. The move was dramatic, marking a rare government intervention in a major private company. This action aligned Dutch policy with U.S. interests, but it also set the stage for a major international confrontation. The world watched as the Netherlands navigated the fallout, balancing alliances and economic interests. The Nexperia saga became a symbol of the West's new resolve to counter China's tech ambitions and a warning of how far governments might go to protect their technological edge in an era of global competition. China's response to the Dutch takeover was immediate, decisive, and fiercely determined. Beijing saw it as a U.S.-orchestrated attack on a key and strategic Chinese tech asset. China imposed strict export controls, blocking Nexperia from accessing critical components made in China. Wingtech, Nexperia's parent company, condemned the move and vowed immediate legal action. The removal of CEO Zhang Shuizheng by Dutch courts further inflamed tensions between the two sides. This clash quickly turned a corporate dispute into a full-blown diplomatic crisis, with China signaling it would fight back hard. To understand the conflict, let's look at Nexperia and its parent, Wingtech. Nexperia, once part of Philips, makes essential chips for cars, electronics, and industry. Its factories are critical nodes in Europe's supply chain. Wingtech, a partially state-owned Chinese firm, acquired Nexperia in 2019 to boost China's chip industry. For Wingtech, it was a strategic move for tech self-sufficiency. For the West, it raised alarms about national security and control over vital technology. This clash of perspectives set the stage for the current standoff. The U.S. was ready to ignite the conflict over these foundational chips. The Dutch seizure of Nexperia was years in the making. Warnings surfaced as early as 2019, when Wingtech's strategy to transfer Nexperia's technology to China became clear. Despite alerts from insiders, Dutch officials initially took a hands-off approach, prioritizing business over security. This reflected a broader Western trend of welcoming Chinese investment with little scrutiny. By 2025, the risks became undeniable, forcing a dramatic policy reversal. The intervention was an admission that earlier warnings should have been heeded. The Nexperia crisis marks Europe's awakening to the realities of global tech competition. The Nexperia battle is a key episode in the ongoing U.S. China tech war, a conflict that is rapidly reshaping the global technology landscape. What began as a dispute over trade and tariffs has now evolved into a high-stakes struggle for technological dominance, with both sides determined to secure their own future. For years, the West believed that deepening economic ties with China would encourage cooperation and mutual benefit. That era, however, has come to an end. Now, suspicion and competition have replaced optimism, as governments rethink their approach to global trade and technology. The United States now openly treats China as a strategic rival, using powerful tools like export controls and investment restrictions to slow China's technological progress. These measures are designed to protect American innovation and maintain a competitive edge in critical sectors. Semiconductors have become the main battleground in this conflict. These tiny chips are the backbone of modern technology, powering everything from artificial intelligence and 5G networks to advanced military systems. Control over this supply chain is now seen as a matter of national security. The Dutch government's intervention in the Nexperia case signals that Europe is moving closer to the U.S. position. By tightening export controls and scrutinizing Chinese investments, European nations are showing a willingness to align with Washington's strategy. This growing unity among Western allies sends a strong message to Beijing, but it also comes at a cost. Economic ties with China are fraying, and businesses on both sides are feeling the impact of rising tensions and declining trade. China's retaliation makes it clear that it is prepared to fight back, escalating the tech war and making the global environment even more unpredictable. Each move and countermove raises the stakes for everyone involved. The Nexperia saga highlights the difficult choices nations now face. In this new era, every decision about technology, trade, and security carries far-reaching consequences for the future of the global order. The Nexperia conflict isn't just corporate drama, it affects us all. Disruptions in chip supply can delay products, raise prices, and impact everything from cars to appliances. The post-pandemic chip shortage showed how fragile these supply chains are. Now, political tensions threaten to make shortages and price hikes a recurring problem. The world is splitting into rival tech blocs, making global supply chains less efficient and more costly. The fight for Nexperia is about who controls the building blocks of modern life. In our connected world, even a single chip maker's fate can shape the future for everyone.